Thank you so much for always coming back to my channel. Thank you so much for liking, for commenting, for dropping your reviews about my videos. I do not take this for granted. And if this is your first time of coming to my channel, thank you so much. My name is Neme. This is a channel where you can get encouraged, where you can get inspired, where you can improve your work with God, where you can learn how to speak right correctly, how to use words in your everyday conversations. This is also a channel where you can learn about taking proper care of your hair. You see, this channel is just filled with so many information that whenever you come in, you get something that will enrich your life. So please subscribe, like, comment, tell somebody about this channel, and do not forget to leave a comment below. I want to be sharing with you some truths that I think that you would need to help you navigate difficult seasons in your life. For every season of our lives, there is something for us to learn, and there is how God wants us to go through that season. So it's one thing for us to know, okay, this is this season that I am in, maybe my waiting season, and another thing for us to know how to navigate especially difficult seasons. And one of the things I needed to know today is when you are navigating or when you are going through difficult season is God sees you. Now in Genesis chapter 16, when Sarah, Abraham, and Sarah's maid, that is Hagar, there was this conversation. I think Hagar had really started doing somehow to Sarah because she was already pregnant and Sarah was not. And Sarah got angry and told Abraham to do away with it. Was angry and complained to Abraham. And Abraham said, "You know what? This is your maid. You can do whatever you want with her." And she sent her away. And in the midst of all this uncertainty, in the midst of everything that was happening to her, the pregnancy, and I'm just imagining the pregnancy, every other thing, there was nothing. She didn't know what to do, she didn't know where to go, but there was someone who saw her, and that was God. And God appeared to her. There was a voice that told her, "Okay, go back to your madam in quotes, or to your boss." In the midst of that, God saw her. In the midst of her uncertainty, God saw her. And she named God. She said that this is Jehovah Elroy, the God that sees me. And I want to tell you today, in the midst of that, God sees you. God actually sees you. God understands the pain that you are going through, and whatever season that you are, whatever you are going through, God has literally gone ahead of you, and He's literally waiting for you to trust Him, to know that He sees you. It got to the point where Hagar was aware that she had Jehovah Elroy with her, the God that sees her, and she was confident that whatever she goes through, that God will be with her. God is watching over her. So whatever tears that you have shed, whatever pain that you are carrying, know that there is someone out there who sees you intimately, and He sent me to you today to just say, "Girl, guy, I see you. I know I'm with you. I will not leave you stranded. I will not leave you nor forsake you." Your worth is not found in the difficulties or the situations that you are going through. Never ever see yourself unloved or unworthy because of what you're going through. Your worth is not measured in that. Don't let people even make you feel bad. Don't let people make you feel that you're not praying enough because you are in your waiting season. Don't let people make you believe that, oh, you have looked for this job and things are not working out well for you, that you are not worthy, or that you are, or make you feel less of yourself. No, your worth is not measured in that thing that you're going through, that difficulty, that challenge. Your worth is actually measured in how God sees you. Sometimes we've actually defined ourselves, we've actually put some worth in ourselves based on how the society sees us. And God is saying to you today, because of how the society sees you doesn't mean that is how worthy you are. What makes you worthy is what Jesus did for you on the cross of Calvary. What makes you special, what makes you unique is the fact that Jesus actually went to die for you. If you were the only one on earth, Jesus would have still died for you. So that is something you should be grateful for, that God thought about me and sent His only Son to die for me. So your worth is not measured in the difficulty you're going through. Your worth is not measured in the season that you are in. Your worth is measured in what God has said about you. your identity is found in God. It's not found in the waiting season that you are in. It's not found in that particular situation. So do not let the devil or any other person lie to you that your worth is measured by whatever you are going through now. No, that is not it. So to navigate a difficult situation or challenge or even a season in your life, you've got to embrace it. Yes, embrace that, well, I don't want to say difficulty, or embrace that situation you are in and wait on God. Yes, I know it's very hard to literally just embrace that season, because you might be in that place where you want to question God and say, God, why me? Why am I in this mess? Why am I in this fix? Why am I in this situation? But it's that time for you to wait on God and find out what God's will is for your life, and find out, what does God wants me to learn from this situation? What does God wants me to do? It might just be that God wants you to grow closer to Him. Now, when I was in my journey of healing, I remember one of the things I did was that I embraced that season and maximized well to learn more of God, to get closer to God. I read a lot of books. I listened to a lot of messages back to back, just knowing what God wanted me to do. And I because I painted pictures of what I wanted to see after, I started thinking about things I could do when I've gotten my healing and all of that thing. And God started giving me instructions. Okay, I want you to do this, since even though some of them I'm still yet to do them, but God was giving me instructions. I was getting instructions. I was writing down. Literally, my jotter was filled because I had waited on God. There's one thing I also want to talk about. People tend to, when they're in their waiting season, isolate themselves, and they say, oh, I'm waiting on God, or I'm separating myself from God. Now, there is a thin line between you isolating yourself and separating yourself. Then when you isolate yourself, you're giving the devil a hold, and you're telling the devil, okay, I've taken whatever it is, that's whatever you've given me, and you're just in that place where nothing is happening. But when you're separating yourself, even in the midst of the difficulty, you're saying, you know what, I want to know what God's will is for my life. I want to know what God wants me to do, even in this season. It might just be a direction God is giving you, leading you to, or it might just even be a person. One of the ways to make best use of this time you are in is to learn the ways of God. Know what God is doing for you now. Know what God wants you to do, what God wants you to do even in the future. And another thing is, you might be in that place where maybe you're believing God for a good job or something, and what are you doing now? Are you building capacity? One of the things that we fail to do is just sulk, stay in the place where we're just sulking or people are just pitying us. No, we need to get to that place where we are building capacity. What are you doing now? Because when you now get that job you're believing God for, do you have what it takes to give out your best? So it might just be that God is preparing you for that thing. I remember one of those times my pastor said something in church that really stuck to me. She said, sometimes we are believing God for something, we're believing God to give us a spouse when you've not even gotten to that place where God is pruning you and preparing you to be that exact wife He wants you to be. I mean, how can you be a wife? How can you be a godly wife or a godly mother when you are not yet prepared, and you're saying, God, it must happen now, when you have not even gotten to that place where God has, like, you know what, prepared you? And she said, she said, you're also believing God for a baby when you are still a baby. And I'm like, ouch. That's the truth. You're believing God for something when you haven't been prepared for it. I believe that when we are in a difficult season, it's that time for us, you know what, let us wait on God wholeheartedly and literally just hear God. Stop comparing yourself. It is normal for us to, you know what, look at other people's life and tend to compare ourselves with the current state of our own lives, and we say, oh, this person is doing better than I am. Oh, we went to the same school, we did this together, this person has been able to achieve this and I'm just here. We need to stop comparing yourself. The plan that God has for your life is different from the plan that God has for that other person's life. Because the person married at the age of 25 and you're 35, you haven't gotten married, doesn't mean that God thinks of you less. It just means that both of you are on different seasons or different levels of your life. So we need to stop comparing ourselves with others. Complain about our lives in comparison with other people's lives just reveals the level of our discontentment and ungratefulness to God. Wherever you are now, it is not time for you to start comparing yourself with your classmates or with maybe your siblings. It's that time for you to accept, because when we start comparing ourselves and complaining, God, look at where my friend is, I'm not even there, just being discontent, and we are just telling God that, you know what, I'm ungrateful for the things that you have done for me. So we need to get to that place where we stop comparing ourselves with what we are seeing. Stop comparing yourselves with what you're seeing on social media. Stop comparing yourselves with your friends. Just stay at where God has placed you. That person you are trying to compare yourself with is actually might be going through worse things, or might even be looking up to you and say, I wish I can just be like this person. So we need to get to that place where we stop seeing ourselves the way the society has painted everything. We should stop looking at Instagram and seeing how people are and not saying that, I wish I can do this, I wish I can be like this, I wish I can just be that boss lady and all of that, and put in the work and stop complaining about anything. So my final point is Thanksgiving. Yes, one of the ways to navigate difficult situation is to thank God. Every day you wake up, thank God. Be grateful for the fact that you have life. Be grateful that you are healthy. Be grateful that you can think. You have like a sound mind. You can think. Just be thankful. Thankful for what God has in store for you. Thankful that God is bringing you to your place of abundance. You just have to be thankful. Thanksgiving opens up that season that feels like it's our night season and opens up to our morning season. And when your morning comes, trust me, it comes really big. When your morning comes, people will be like, it's not this lady that I knew before. It comes really big. When you get that job, you'll be getting paid like what somebody that has been working for like 5 years has not even been paid. So you just have to get to that place where we are grateful to God. So I'm going to just read Isaiah chapter 46 verse 4, and it says, I am your God and will take care of you until you are old and your hair is gray. I am your God and I will take care of you until you are old and your hair is gray. I made you and I will care for you. I will give you help and rescue you. This is God's word to you today. God is your word, and He says God is your God, and He says that He's going to take care of you until you are old and your hair turns gray. So if you're not old yet, know that God is not done taking care of you. And if your hair has not turned gray, even though you're old and your hair is still black, know that God is not done taking care of you. He said He made you, and He's going to make sure that He's going to take care of you to the very last. And whatever season you are going through, know that God is with you. When you go through the fire, whatever that looks like a fire or looks like a water that is getting you drowned, know that God is with you. He has never left you and He will not forsake you. I hope that this truth will remind you and will help you see that in this difficult situation that you are, God sees you. Never forget that. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, and share. Somebody is going through something and needs to be encouraged. This video will be a big encouragement to somebody, so please share it with that person. Like and comment, and also tell me what you love about which of these truths really resonates in your heart. Till I come your way next time, please be good and have a wonderful day. Bye.